What's up, you guys? Jason Wardrop here, and in today's video, I want to show you how to sell GoHighLevel's SaaS mode, just like the man himself, Frank Kern. He spoke at the GoHighLevel event this past week on how he went and scaled his GoHighLevel SaaS business from zero to over $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue in just like 40-something days. So absolutely insane. He spoke the very last day of the event. It was by far my favorite session. I was taking massive notes on everything that he was doing. And it was interesting because a lot of things he was saying that he's done or that he was doing over the last 6 weeks or so to get that $100,000+ in monthly recurring revenue were some similarities of what I've done. So I want to kind of like go through, show you guys in comparison. So this is like my slides, my stuff, but it had a lot of similarities to what Frank Kern was talking about. And so I'll share a lot about what he was saying, but then also a lot of things that I've seen work for my business myself as well. Now, the biggest thing here, I think the biggest thing that I always get from Frank Kern anytime I hear him speak is he always is like, he kind of plays stupid. He always like acts like he's dumb. He doesn't really know what's going on. And he just like, it's a way to really simplify everything that's going on. Because honestly, a lot of this business stuff, there are some complexities, but he just simplifies it, and the way he talks about it makes it seem like, oh yeah, no, that's totally easy. That's totally relatable. Oh yeah, you're not a techie. Yeah, like you don't know what you're doing, and you figured it out. So like I could probably go figure it out, right? So he gives off that vibe, which I'm not saying you have to go through and copy and model that vibe, because I don't give off that vibe whatsoever. I kind of just shoot it straight, just how it is. But also at the same time, when you're looking at GoHighLevel system, there are so many features. There's so many things to focus on. So if you're going through and trying to like focus on all the different features and the complexities of how to set it up and all these different things, you're going to lose your prospect, right? Whereas if you're simplifying things and going like showing how it's like easy mode, then I'm like, oh yeah, totally. I relate with that. So we want to break things down in a very simple and easy format. So before I dive into what I've got for you here today, one of the big things that Frank Kern talked about that he did was he leveraged his existing database, which he said it was like, after all he's been doing, it's not like that massive a database because he's been basically scrubbing his list all the time. But he was using a webinar, right? So basically going through and doing a sales presentation, and at the end, it's just kind of like a, hey, go sign up for our thing. And on his main homepage, he said that he had a price for his software. And then it's like, let's say it was like $397 a month. I think that might be the number that he said. But then on the webinar, he was selling it for a discounted $100 discount. So it was like $297 per month. They could lock that in if they signed up early right there on the webinar, which I thought was great. I've done that before as far as like price anchoring on the webinar or price anchoring on the website. And then if you get in on the webinar, it's actually a discounted price. Okay, so anyway, I don't know like his exact strategies as far as like what he shared on the webinar, but he basically did like a webinar promo, and then after the webinar promo, kind of like if you guys know about webinar promos, afterwards he did like an email replay sequence. So it's like, hey, go watch the replay. And then he did a deadline funnel, basically like, okay, you've seen the replay, you've watched the webinar, like get in or else this is closing down, right? And so he did that multiple times. He said he's done like 7 to 8 promos in the last 6 weeks. And he had a couple different webinars, which I don't think you have to start out with a couple different webinars, especially if you're just getting started. I actually ran this exact same webinar for about 3.5 years. Every single week, I did it live for 3.5 years, and it worked very, very well, right? But he did say that, the more offers you make, the more consistency, the more follow-up you have, just the more money you're going to make overall, which I really took to heart as well. So as far as going through and selling GoHighLevel's SaaS mode, like the Frank Kern style of just simplicity and just really dumbing it down instead of like getting into like the nitty gritty of like, here's how you set up workflows and automations, all these different things. So the way I would always sell my software, and I always try to like simplify it as much as possible. So I was working with real estate agents, and real estate agents, they don't really want to set things up, and neither do your clients. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. And so you have to really simplify things down, but also speak to what they want. So I knew real estate agents, they wanted leads. None of them were getting leads, and so I would need to go through and show them an easy way to go through and get leads. And I wanted to show them a simple enough way that they could believe that they could actually make it happen themselves, or that the things that might be difficult, that our team would be there to assist, right? And then number 2, I knew, okay, if you're getting leads, that's great, but the fortune is in the follow-up. So we've got to have a proven follow-up system in place. And then number 3, what I would always do is I would sell the vision. I would sell the dream, the vacation, right, of going through and saying, hey, look, you might be like very inconsistent with your business, but let's show you how you can make a consistent 10 grand, 20 grand per month just by leveraging the numbers that we've just broken down here. So that's kind of like what I'll show you here. I'll go through fairly quickly on the slides here just because like I'm not going to do the full webinar presentation, but I also want to show you guys. And this is something that in one of our coaching calls last week, people were asking me like, how do you demo the software, right? Well, you demo the software in a very like quick and easy way, right? Like kind of like, we'll call it the Frank Kern style, just like the quick, easy, super dumbed down version. Just simplify it. Don't act like, oh, it's so complicated, all that stuff. Just like super quick and easy, right? And so basically what we would do is like, we kind of first stress on this webinar of like, hey, how many of you guys have a website? And if you're in my market, if you're working with real estate agents, 99% of them have a website that was given to them by their broker or some like basically templated website. And so they're all like, oh yeah, I have a website. And then I say, how many of you guys are actually getting leads from your website? And it's like crickets. Everyone's like 0, 0, none, or someone's like 1 a month, 2 a month, something like that. So I'm like, okay, so it's nothing you can really rely on, right? And so they basically are admitting their problem, their pain point. And then what I do from there, if we can get this thing working over here, I come over here and I say, okay, well, how many of you guys have a Facebook page? That must be the answer. You're having a Facebook page. And they're all like, yeah, I have a Facebook page because by now everyone has a Facebook business page. I'm like, okay, how many of you guys are actually getting leads from that? And all of them are like, nope, I'm not, it's not working. And so then I go say, hey, look, that model doesn't work. What you need to leverage highly optimized landing pages. And going to like the Frank Kern style of just dumbing everything down, I remember when I first started doing this webinar back in 2016, I just assumed everyone knew what a landing page or lead capture page was in my industry, which is the real estate space. Truth is, nobody knows anything. And you got to assume that nobody knows anything. And so you got to go, like one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was one of my early mentors said, hey, make your presentation, make your webinar as if you're trying to sell to your grandma. And if your grandma could understand it, more than likely your audience will understand it. So then I go through and it's like, hey, look, we go and leverage social media, send people to a landing page. And by the way, a landing page, this is what a landing page is. It's not a website. It's a highly optimized page. You can see there's nothing else on here, no other distractions. It's kept as clear and concise as possible. And so a landing page actually converts significantly better than a website because you guys already experienced the less than 1% on your website, right? You guys already told me you're not getting any leads. Well, guess what? We just make the simple transition to a landing page and look at all this higher lead conversion, right? And so then we go through and I kind of throw in some engagement there. Like, look, this dude right here, Chad, he went through and switched over and he started getting all these leads. And guess what? Look, we have all these pre-built campaigns in here. We've got the listing leads campaign, seller lead campaign, buyer lead campaign, open house, all these cool things. And this works literally for any type of agent, right? So here's the deal, guys. This same process it works whether you're in real estate or working with dentists, chiropractors, it doesn't matter the industry. It's literally the same process because all small business owners, they're looking for leads or more clients or patients or whatever the terminology is. And then from there, they know it's not just one thing to get a lead. You actually have to follow up with them, right? And so after I go through and basically show them all these templates, I'm like, hey, look, would you like to see how easy this is to go through and set up, right? So I'm saying, hey, look, we've got all these proven templates. Check this out. We have this software, and this is going into the GoHighLevel system, right? We have this software that you can literally go through and get all this set up in just about like 3 clicks, right? And so I'm like, so let's say I'm going to go through and set up a new ad. So I'm going to click on real estate right here, and we've got all these pre-built templates right here in the system already, okay? And we're just going to say, choose this template. Easy enough, right? So I always like to stress how easy it is. Like how many of you guys could go through and click choose a template, choose what template you want to run? Yeah, of course, right? And then you type in your city. Let's say we'll type in Denver right there. The bit.ly link, this is something I actually need to get updated, but we'll just say test right there. And then put in your name. How many of you guys can put in your name, right? How many of you guys know your name? So you just put in Jason right there. And then we have a campaign type. We like to do lead forms because we're generating leads, right? That is kind of the whole goal. And obviously that webinar is a little bit older, was when we were talking about landing pages, but in recent experience, lead forms are just performed significantly better for our real estate clients. So that's where I would do maybe a little tweak there of talking about lead forms as opposed to landing pages. And so we say lead forms because we want to generate leads, right? And then we just give it budget. We recommend a minimum of $10 per day. That's what we've seen would work best. And then throw in your existing website. You guys already said you have a website. And then we just come in here and click launch campaign. Pretty easy, right? How many of you guys feel like you could go through and get this all set up as soon as this afternoon? And then everyone's typing in the comments, yeah, for sure. That's super easy. That's so awesome. Blah, blah, blah. All that cool stuff, right? And so I'm like, yeah, man, so cool, right? And then I'm just jumping back over here. And that is literally all the demo that I'm doing. And I'm not lingering on here because if I linger on here, guys, what they're going to be doing, like, oh, payments. Like, what is payments all about? What's opportunities? What are all these things all about? And so we just like go show the thing that we need to show how simple and easy it is, how they can replicate it. And then from there, we're jumping back in here, okay? And then we're moving on to the next thing. So we're basically going through, next thing is our follow-up, right? That we already kind of talked about. And then I basically confirm in their mind, because they're still thinking in their mind, I'm not generating any leads for my business. I don't know how to generate leads. And okay, you're saying you're giving me these templates, but like, probably a lot of people have given templates, and a lot of people talk a lot of talk. And so now I basically reconfirm, like, look, now you're at a point where like, you're good to go. You have our proven templates. And I confirm basically like, there's no way you're not getting leads, because also we've also run this with over 15,000 real estate agents. So like, we have pretty high confidence that we are actually going to get them leads with this. And so basically we go through and be like, yeah, like at this point you've got the blueprint, you're getting leads, you're killing it. But here's the deal. What happens when you start getting 3 new leads? Or actually, this is what I say on this page. Like, if you get 3 to 5 new leads in a single day, that's super easy to call them up, follow up with them, hit them up via text, email, give them a call. But what happens when you start getting 3 to 5 new leads every single day, right? And so it's like, after 10 days, if you're just getting 3 leads per day, that's 30 leads. And that's a lot of leads you have to stay organized with, follow up with, all these different things. And so we basically like, we solved the first pain, which the first pain was like, hey, I need leads, right? But then we show them like, look, once we solve this pain, because we've already solved it for you, we've got it, right? The next thing is you're going to have the pain point of follow-up. You're going to be like, man, I don't have time for all this, right? And so then we like went through and we hit a case study like, look, Ashley went through, she got all these leads because she used our system. But then she's like, hey, I don't have time to follow up all these leads. I need to just shut off my campaign. So I was like, look, there's a much better way to do it. Basically, as soon as the lead comes in, email, SMS, Facebook message, we can call the lead next day, the second day, all that stuff. So we can go through, get the speed of lead, and actually go through and connect with all these leads, sift and sort through all of them. And so then I go through and show them like, look, we put together pre-built emails and SMS templates so that you don't have to go through and do this. And look, these are the results. Ashley went through, was getting leads, and then after implementing the templates, she got 50 plus appointments booked in her first month. And then now Debbie is closing 3 to 4 closed deals every single month, which in real estate, consistency is a big thing, because a lot of times they make, a big commission on one closed deal, but they might not close another deal for 3 to 4 months, right? And so then I'm like, hey, how many of you guys would like to see these exact templates and see how these work and how simple this is and ties in with the Facebook ads we just set up? And they're all like, yeah, me, right? And so then we're jumping over here. And what I do typically is I have the tab already open, so I'm not having to go through and click through the software and click to the next thing, because I want this as simple and quick as possible and not feel like, oh, I'm getting lost in where you just clicked. And so I just got the next tab open, and so I say, look, we have all these automated follow-up drip campaigns, and that's what they kind of call them in the real estate space. Your space might call them a little bit different. They say like, look, if we went through and we set up a seller lead campaign, or let's say a buyer lead campaign, here is our buyer lead follow-up. And check this out. We click on this, and just like we showed you of how to go through and follow up on the day 1, day 2, day 3, check this out. We've already got the text message, and then we've got an internal notification notifying us that we got a lead, so we can actually reach out with them. And we also have a mobile app that can notify you anytime a new lead comes in. So even if you're out and about at your kid's soccer game, you're at an open house, is showing anything like that, you can be on top of your business and what's happening. And then look, we've got an email going out. Wait a little bit, we've got a phone call, and then we wait the next day, we've got day 2, we've got another text message. You can see how we have this entire flow, so we can make sure we're sifting and sorting through all of these leads, so you are only talking to leads who are the most qualified. And then what I like to do, just because I've done this so many times, is I already know the questions that people have. right? And so what I do is before the question even comes up, I already address it. So I say, big question a lot of times people have is, well, can I customize the text and the emails and everything that's going on? Because my business is a special snowflake and I want to go through and customize everything to myself. And I say, yeah, and if you want to customize everything, check out how cool this is. You just click on this right here. And it says, hey, contact first name. So autofills with the lead's first name. So I'm showing them like additional value here. This is your name. This is, going through where you're looking to buy. And if you want to customize the text, and then I just type out here, usually I don't have a mic in my hand. I type in customize the text. You can easily customize anything that you want in these text messages. And the same goes for the emails. But the nice thing is if you don't want to customize anything, everything is already pre-built for you. It's got the contact first name and it's already got this email signature. So everything is pre-built in here for you. So if you don't have time to go through and set all this up, it's already done, right? And so then from here, it's another one where I'm like, how cool is this? How many more, how much time would this save you as far as the follow-up? You think you'd be able to go through and book a lot more appointments, be able to like save a ton of time, not wasting your time with dud leads because we've got this automated system. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. And then I jump back and then anyway, so then I'm like going into, okay, that's how we went and did that. And then I go through and the last step is I sell the vision. So if you guys think about it like right now, like step 1 and 2, those are the two main pain points of my customers, right? How to generate leads and then how to actually sift and sort and follow up those leads so you can actually book more appointments and close more deals, which the goal is to display that, but also display that in a simple way that we're not getting back over here. We're not talking about, you could go into conversations, all that stuff, but like we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. We're not showing them like, hey, here's how to set up the calendar and do all this stuff. And here's how we set up the automations or build out the websites or the templates. You want to show that it's already done. That like there's as little work as possible on their end. And then one thing that we actually did, so anyway, I'll just show you guys this real quick just to show you guys. So basically I went through, just kind of show them the growth formula to sell the vision of like, hey, look, here's how you can actually change your life by changing your business, by leveraging this system of, hey, look, 100 leads, your average commission is 10 grand because I have them like put in like how much they make per deal, right? And let's just say you close one deal, right? Our average lead cost is $5 nationwide. So that's a $500 investment. Let's just say 1%. That's one deal, 10 grand. You subtract the $500 ad spend, your profit's 9,500, 2,000% ROI, right? So I really hit that home. And then it say, if you can potentially make 10 grand from 100 leads, cost us $5 by lead. How do we scale? We just buy more leads. So I'm just selling them on like, okay, this is the basically the holy grail to growing the business. And I show, look, hey, these are the actual stats. This is the average lead cost, but check it out. We actually, from time to time, get leads significantly less. And then I just break down the system, right? So this is basically repeating what I showed them up here of the game changer, social exposure, lead capture, follow-up, right? And then down here, we've got generate leads, $3 to $5, just use our templates, auto sift and sort through the leads, close more deals. So simplicity, the Frank Kern way, the Frank Kern style, really dumb it down, really make it simple and easy. And if you don't have it simple and easy on the back end, make it simple and easy. So either like make it simple and easy through the templates and the snapshots, or have a member of your team jump in there, set it all up. Because honestly, like the way the system works is you only really need to onboard and activate like once. Then a lot of this stuff just works on autopilot, right? So coming down here, one last thing I'll share with you guys that hopefully you guys will like is to create that urgency, right? That urgency of just getting in, like, hey, you got to get in right now on the webinar. Is what we did is we said, hey, for the first 20 people, we're going to add on an additional bonus. And we said, okay, so here's kind of the flow. I'm giving you guys literally everything right here. The first time we said, hey, for the first 20 people, we're going to actually go set up your first Facebook ad campaign for you. And I was like, man, this is going to boost our conversion so much. And guess what? It was crickets because nobody wanted to have a Facebook ad campaign set up because they didn't know what it meant. Like a Facebook ad campaign, like they were so new to Facebook ads or just like lead generation in general. They're like, okay, you're setting up a Facebook ad campaign. What does that actually mean? And then I was like, okay, after a few failed attempts of that, a few weeks of pitching that live, and I'm like, man, why is this not working? I was like, well, if we set up a Facebook ad campaign and they're spending $10 per day, which is what we're kind of like our baseline of what we're telling them to do, and our average lead cost is $5 per lead, that's getting people typically 2 to 3 leads per day, which over the course of a month, right, is, what is that, 60 to 90 leads? Well, I was like, okay, 60 to 90 leads, that honestly was like pretty consistent what we would get for clients. But I was like, that's not believable. If someone's going from 0 leads and they've never been able to generate leads, and I'm telling them like, hey, look, we're going to go through and get you 60 leads, they're going to be like, yeah, that's not happening. I don't believe that. Plus, some areas were a little bit more expensive than other areas, so we also wanted to kind of like make sure we wanted under promise, over deliver type of thing. And so we cut it down and we said, instead of like hey, we're going to set up your first Facebook ad campaign for you, I said, hey, we're going to have Denise on our team here. She is a lead generation expert. So I like build her up because they all, to this point, they've just seen me, my branding, everything. And so they're wanting me to do it. So I build up Denise. I'm like, man, Denise is like on our team. She is the best. She is our lead generation expert, which on the back end, we actually scaled to the point where like she wasn't setting them all up. She was actually just managing the account reps. So like you'll probably get to a point that you're like that, but you need to have like a figure. You need to have a face that you're like building up of like the lead gen expert. She's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd say, instead of, hey, she's going to set up a Facebook ad campaign, we're going to actually set up your first lead campaign. So I didn't even say like Facebook ad, your first lead campaign, and we're going to get you a consistent 20 exclusive leads every single month. Because remember, we knew on average we were getting people between 60 and 90. So we cut it down, we made it believable, but we also under promise, over deliver. And so now when I presented this to the first 20, people were going nuts. They were going crazy. And to be honest, we didn't only, like we said here that it was for the first 20, but even if it was like 25, I remember one day we had 53 people sign up in an hour. And I didn't discriminate. I didn't say, oh no, you were the 21st person. We're not going to. We set up every single one of those people because it's going to help with onboarding, activation, and actually moving things forward. So anyway, there's a little bonus. Hopefully, guys, this helped. Obviously, you can see there's a lot more slides and everything, but that's it. Like, keep it simple. Keep it like the Frank Kern style. Only focus on the core benefits and the pain points that your ideal target customer is feeling. And I would just say, like, keep it to 3 core principles. And then when you demo and you show, simplify it. Simplify it as much as you can. And if you're going to demo and show that it's like already done. And that's the easiest thing about Go High Level is the templates, the snapshots, all that stuff. It can be already all done. And so when they get in there, it is all done. And there's just a few things to connect the dots, which you have a member of your team do that anyway, so that you can increase the retention rate and the stick rate on an ongoing basis. So anyway, guys, I hope this video was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.